So, Dunu's been winning quite a lot lately. As you can see, the Dunu Talos, really great planar IEM, well tuned, the best tuned planar IEM, at least according to me. And then we have the Dunu SA6 Ultra Edition, which is now all sold out. That one is just amazeballs, so good. And now we have the Dunu Kima. Another, I would say, win, but not as big of a win as the other two that I just mentioned, but still worth taking a look at. Let's jump into it.
Now before we begin this video, there's a giveaway. Yes, there's one giveaway every month on Giz Audio, and this month we're giving away a Dunu Kima. All you have to do is be subscribed to his channel, comment down below your #1 favorite Dunu IEM, and also follow the link in the description for more details. Good luck to everyone, and on to the video.
Hey friends, Tim here, welcome back to another video on Giz Audio, and today we have the Dunu Kima. Now this has a very similar tuning to a lot of stuff that you're familiar with, like the Moondrop Aria, the Dunu Titan S, pretty much a lot of other Moondrops as well, Starfield, KXXS, Kato. There's a lot that's tuned similar to this. Even the two new IEMs, the Heart Mirror Pro and also the T2 DLC, and oh, how can I forget the T3 Plus, are all also tuned in this style. Now, in this video, let's do a not so normal review where we talk about the bass, mid-range, and treble, and technical, and all that. We're just gonna do a ton of comparisons because, again, this is the type of signature that you guys have heard 1,000 times about already. So let's just see where it fits in the grand scheme of all your options. Now, I'm gonna be comparing it mainly to the Moondrop IEMs, namely the Aria, also the Dunu Titan S, and the T3 Plus. The Heart Mirror Pro and T2 DLC, I'll save those two comparison to the Kima in their own video, which I'll do very soon here. They're both gonna be in the same video, so comparison to those guys, we'll wait for that video. All right, to start things off, let me first explain the signature very briefly for those of you who may not be familiar. Now, the Kima and a lot of the other IEMs that I mentioned have this kind of signature that you can describe as a warm neutral or a warm V shape. These IEMs tend to have a bass boosted type of signature. Now some have more bass and some have less than others, but they all have this similar level of warmth. The bass leading into the mid-range, I wouldn't say bleed into the mid-range, but leads into the mid-range in a way where it adds more richness and heft to, say, male vocals or a lot of deeper sounding instruments. In the upper mid-range, you're gonna get a vocal forward signature. Again, some IEMs are more forward than each other. In the treble area is where all of these signatures have the same kind of issues, also the same benefits as well. Let's touch on the issue first. Now the issue here is, as you can see, is the 10K hole that all of them share. This causes the treble or some instruments to feel like they're a little bit cut off or not extended all the way, and affects the overall timbre or how natural each instrument should come across. That big 10K dip that it has makes them sound not as natural as they can be. Following that, you usually have a peak at around 12 to 13K. This helps with the overall crispiness of some instruments that lives in this region, and also can lend to a sense of stage or head stage at the same time. All of the IEMs that have been mentioned in this video so far is following the same philosophy to a degree, some varying in bass, upper mids, and treble area, but they all share a very similar curve, hence also a very similar sound. The best ones that have this kind of signature that a lot of people agree, not only me, is the Moondrop Aria, the Moondrop Kato, the Dunu Titan S, and also the T3 Plus by Tin Hi-Fi. Now the Kato is the most refined and detailed one that has this kind of signature, but it also costs a significantly more dollar amount than the other IEMs. Kato costs $190 as opposed to every other one of them that costs only $79 or under that. So Kato, even though it's the best currently that has this signature, it does come at a very high premium, which can be worth it to some and not to others, depends on what you want. We're not going to get into that in this video. But yes, the new Kima coming in at $110 right now does not perform, at least to me, does not perform as well as the Kato, but it does perform better than the other two or three best, the Aria, the Titan S, and the T3 Plus. This is a small upgrade from those guys, and it doesn't cost way too much to upgrade from them as well. So for me, new Kima is a much better buy or much more worth the money than the Moondrop Kato. Now let's get into how this is an upgrade over the three IEMs that I mentioned. The first IEM, Kima versus its younger brother, new Titan S. Now this is an overall mid-range upgrade from the Titan S and also a bass upgrade as well. The Kima sounds noticeably more well-balanced than the Titan S. Due to how forward the upper mid-range is on the Titan S and the fact that it's not really well-balanced out with the bass, the Titan S can potentially come across a little bit shouty. As opposed to that, the Kima is a lot more well-balanced with the bass or mid-bass being boosted and the upper mid-range being more even and natural sounding at the same time. Hence, the Kima is an overall balance upgrade and vocal upgrade over the Titan S. Next, we have comparison with the Moondrop Aria. Now, before we address why this is better, let's address some of the problem that the Aria has. Number one problem that the Aria has is in the treble area. Yes, it does have the widest sense of head stage, but it comes at a cost of having a very grainy timbre to the instruments and the vocals due to how elevated that 12K or the air region is. Everything else about the Aria is really good for the type of signature that it has. The Kima still has nice feeling sense of head stage, not as wide as the Aria, but the timbres are much better than the Aria. There's no graininess to be found at all. So the Kima sounds more true to life, you can say, than the Aria can ever sound. In the vocal, the Kima is also more energetic than the Aria, though not by way too much. Now, that's not a pro over the Aria, that's just a subtle difference that's worth noting. And last but not least, we have comparison to the Tin Hi-Fi T3 Plus. Now, this is probably the most different of all the IEMs that I just tuned this way. Now, the T3 Plus has a noticeably more V-shape type of signature, meaning that the bass and the treble area are boosted more than the other ones that shares, again, this type of signature. The biggest issues with the T3 Plus is that it's just not as resolving sounding as the Aria or the Titan S. Also, with the signature being more V-shaped, the vocals do come across the thinness out of all the three IEMs, and also the treble area, you remember the Aria with the grainy problem, the T3 Plus also has a similar problem. So needless to say, since the Kima is an upgrade over the Aria, the Kima is also an upgrade over the T3 Plus for very similar reasons in the treble area, and for the fact that the Kima has a cleaner sounding lower mid-range and more natural sounding upper mid-range in general, and the bass is not as overbearing as the T3 Plus can be. Alright, that's it for this video today. Thank you so much for watching. The new Kima for me, final score gets a almost a green thumbs up. Yeah, a halfway green is good. It's just a small upgrade over the Aria and Titan S. It's nothing too surprising, it's nothing too wowing, but it's just good in general. If you have the money, you should buy the Kima instead of the Aria or the Titan S. But if you already own the Aria and Titan S, it is very redundant to also own the Kima. So if you're planning on upgrading to the Kima, I would highly suggest you sell the Aria or Titan S first. And with all that being said, I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out. Bye.
「でもできる気がする」「一緒につ